Welcome to ESPN3, the Watch ESPN app. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside David Fink, top pro for this men's pro final. Dave, we're going to talk about it in just a few. A lot of people were talking about this tournament in San Francisco, the race for 8, and what happened on Saturday. Let's find out with Kara Mack.
It's the road to the finals day here in San Francisco at the Olympic Club, and it all began with the quarterfinals this morning. Killian Carroll versus Shorty Ruiz, the first matchup. Shorty with a game plan to throw Killian off balance and pulls off some points, including here a great rally in the first, but ultimately it's Killian doing what he does best, pulls the win into 15-11, 15-4. Next up, Luis Cordova versus Vick Frezz, a bit tighter, but Cordova with power and a snap of the wrist takes him down 15-11, 15-10. Now on to the other Cordova and the third quarterfinal, Daniel versus Marcos Chavez. The first game, Daniel dominates. We're talking a 15-1 domination. But game 2, Marcos finds some groove. Here tied at 14, can he push it into a tiebreaker? Not quite. Daniel with his hops takes it 16-14. Then a matchup that stirred up some passion before it even began. Sean Lenning and Dave Fink. Sean obviously on the attack. And although he shares what he really wanted, a donut, executes still a satisfying and solid victory, 15-3, 15-4, which leads us to the late afternoon semifinal matches, Killian Carroll versus Luis Cordova, and the Saturday entertainment is in full effect. Rallies like this intense. Cordova leading 13-1, but get ready for a dramatic turn of events. Killian starts picking up the points in the incredible rallies to make a full-on 14-point comeback, and he takes game 1, 15-13. Now game 2, head-to-head, and a lot of, did he just get that? Full-on rollout dives, but again, Luis becomes close to closing out the game, leading 14-7, and Killian, he starts creeping up again. But he just can't do it. Let's sit back and watch this rally.
Is that close to that approach line, Dave?
I didn't notice that.
How could you not? Killian's right up there when he hits that, and that's tough to dig out off the back wall.
What's Luis doing right there? Very close.
Wow. Luis is able to dig that out. Killian almost dove, decided to flip it. My goodness. This crowd's getting what they came here for. This is unbelievable, Dave. You ever seen anything like this?
This is pretty amazing.
Oh, and he goes for a wild overhand tomahawk.
He took your advice. He said he had enough of this. 43 shots was enough.
Ultimately, Luis pulls off game 2, 17-15, and kids, we are headed to a tiebreaker, which lacks the same luster as the past 2 games, but shows Killian's tenacity and stamina as he remains calm, looking comfortable with a 15-1 win and is headed to the finals. Now for Sean Lenning and Daniel Cordova. This one tight in the first, but Cordova comes out on top 15-13, but it's Lenning who strikes back in game 2 with the kills to stay alive, and it's another semifinal tiebreaker. Sean with so much movement on the ball and so smooth, as he said, impressing himself tonight, saying his shots just felt good, and he shows it with the 15-3 win in that tiebreaker, and it's a Lenning-Carroll Sunday final.
Pretty amazing stuff yesterday, and if we can just have a moment of that here in the finals today, both of these players, I believe, will be tired. Killian probably the advantage. Sean Lenning looked like he was completely out of gas yesterday after that match ended, but these players are now getting ready to get onto the court, and Sean, again, one of these motivational type players. If he can get the crowd behind him, he's probably going to play really incredible. Right now, a lot of people are writing him off because they believe that he's not in the shape that Killian is in, but you can't write him off ever.
He is the #1 ranked pro on the pro circuit, Killian Carroll.
Our referee is Abraham Montijo, and you see the crowd putting their hands together for these amazing shooters. Can Sean Lenning do it today, Dave?
Let's play some ball.
You can never write the guy off. It just doesn't seem like he is going with that body. from yesterday in the body language
0-0.
that he can recover, but this is Sean Lenning.
Zeros.
I saw Killian outside last night pretty late, and he said that he was feeling it.
Lenning with a couple of chances there, Dave. Didn't seem like he let loose with those right-hand swings.
Point.
Lenning makes an amazing return of serve off that
2-0.
deep crack, but then misses an easy one up in the front. Quick start here for Killian. 3 rallies, 3 points for Killian Carroll.
And 1 timeout from Sean Lenning. These guys warmed up for a very long time here after that women's match. And I say very long time. Boy, it was only 20 minutes. But they were ready to play about 10 minutes earlier than that. They were just waiting on us. And I thought that would benefit Sean Lenning a little bit more. But Killian's come out and is currently doing what he does best. Sean's still staying in there stroking the ball. Killian's going to take that away from him so he doesn't have any more chance to
30 seconds
to warm up there. 30 more seconds of this timeout. Very quick to call a timeout now. Look at the crowd here. They're just probably haven't seen anything like this. 3 points in, quick timeout. It's very quiet here. Sean's definitely a crowd favorite, but Killian makes these crowds love him at all of these stops when he's diving around the court. Amazing
10
play.
seconds. All right, that's time. 3 serves 0. Side out.
Great kill
Last
shot.
time these guys played, Dave, Sean Lenning led 10-0 in the tiebreaker in Colorado, going to 11 and lost that match. That was about
0-3.
7 weeks ago. And if you listen, Dave, to the people in the stands in that crowd, they said, well, Sean was just dominating. He dominated the first game. He was close to winning the second game, and then he was up 10-0 in the tiebreaker.
1 serves 3.
That's unreal. I did not realize that.
Side out.
You see Killian waits out that hop. And then
3-1.
feathers a kill.
Point, called it good. 1 agree, 1 disagree. It's a point. 4-1. Short. Second. Short.
A double fault, Dave, for Killian
out.
Carroll. We saw 3 serves in the ground yesterday.
1
Now
serves
we've seen
4.
a double fault in the final.
Yeah, it's very strange. But
Side out.
after seeing how many times these guys were diving yesterday, I kind of give them a pass for it
4-1.
today. But here in the final, you don't really seem to see a lot of double faults.
Side out.
Killian just missing that ball low. You need to capitalize on points when Killian's missing some of these. He had a double fault. That one he hits into the ground.
1 serves 4.
Sean's not really into 5th gear yet.
He has a slower pace
Point.
to him at this moment. Killian, you see, not going to the floor here, and he could have easily have dove there.
Yeah, I think he was going the wrong way, and when you're going the
2-4.
wrong way, you definitely can't dive.
Short.
You know, his body was going to the right.
Second.
The ball was going to the left.
It makes me believe that Killian's not completely warmed up yet. But I agree with what you're saying. That should be put away. Nobody has a shot like that. It's a little teeny tiny Tyrannosaurus Rex
3-4.
flip over the top kill shot that you can't teach.
That was an incredible shot. I thought that was a 2-all winner for Killian Carroll.
Point.
Lenning turns it around into the left corner.
4 serves 4.
We're all together at 4 now. Best 2 out of 3 to 15. Breaker also 15.
Point.
You'd have to say Sean's fly kill is probably his best weapon. It definitely has been in this
5-4.
tournament. And it's hard to get fly kill opportunities against the top players because they hit the ball so well,
Point.
but Sean's able to push you around, and you end up just throwing the ball back to the wall, and gives him this
6-4.
opportunity to step in and take the ball off the wall.
Now it's 6-4, and Sean's playing very slow compared to the normal Sean. Here's that fly. And it's
Point.
just, you know.
But I think the fly kill takes away Killian's speed because he's so far behind you
Right.
when it's being
7-4.
hit, and he doesn't have a chance to really use his retrieving ability.
These players haven't really cranked it up yet. And when they do, you're going to see this ball getting pounded by both of these guys. Sean's hitting the ball rather slow at this moment.
Point.
So it's 7 straight points now for Lenning. He was down 4-0, 8 straight.
Yeah.
8-4.
I mean, there were some side outs and stuff in between all of that. But
Right.
yeah, 8 straight. Unanswered points. See what Sean does here. Does he go slow or does he go hard? He went slow there. Again, getting
Point.
Killian.
But Killian is not making the gets so far today. Now, Sean's ball has a different kind of action on it.
Dave, I'm telling you, what he did yesterday diving around, that's hurting him today. It's just, you
9-4.
can't do that. You physically can't be diving that many times.
Short.
I'm thinking about agreeing with you.
I'm not saying he's
Second.
winning the
You're
match.
selling me on it.
Not going to win the match because he very well could and might, but it's hurting him here.
Replay.
That would have been tough. That ball might not have made the front wall,
Or it might have rolled out.
or it would have been a flat mouse.
Yeah. I tend to agree, though, that it might not have made it.
Looked like it was heading the wrong
9-4.
direction. It was also a little bit wide. Set up here for Sean.
Killian's normally reliable left punch to the ceiling has not been so thus far.
Side out.
He was fortunate that return of serve just clipped the side wall. And
4
Lennon
serves
didn't
9.
have much of a play.
Short ball. Second. Point. Five serving 9. Short ball. Second.
And that was basically a double fault.
Side out.
Yeah.
To hit a second serve like that,
9-5. Short. Second.
Killian has had a very tough road to the final. Not just last night's match with Lucho, but Shorty Ruiz pushing him in that first game yesterday. Also,
Point.
Peter Function pushing him in the first round. They were tied at 10. He was
10-5.
also tied with Shorty at 10
Right.
Short ball.
in the first 2 rounds. And then, of course, he was down 13-1 in
Second.
the semifinals. So it's been a taxing event for Killian, who's had to really work in
Side
all
out.
3 of his matches. And he'll have to work hard here, down 5-10.
Five 10. Point. Six 10.
Wow, that's a nice shot there from Killian.
Point.
Thought we were going to see a timeout from Sean, but he's going to hold off a little bit here if he ends up taking one. Killian doesn't really take a lot of timeouts, but he will do it
7 serves 10.
to give himself a chance to have some water. Nice anticipation there from Sean, and he
Point.
Flips that ball back to Killian, and this is what Killian does. He's going to stick in
30
there.
seconds. Scores 8-10.
30-second timeout. Sean staying on the floor. Killian has a way of sticking in there and just getting you in these situations.
Well, it looked to me like at 10-5, Lenning kind of went into a little bit of a break, a rest period, as though I'm going to take a couple minutes off and I'm going to save myself for a final
10
push.
seconds.
Because he needs just 5 more points. I don't think he's worried about Killian getting to 8 or 9. He's just thinking, if I can have enough energy to get 5, it won't really matter what happens here.
Yeah, I agree.
Zing,
Yeah, I
one
saw.
left.
But then if Killian flips
Scores
his switch
8,
like he
serves 10.
does, it's going to be hard to get out of that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Sean actually got a
Point.
hand on that. And a point again now for Killian, now at 9-10.
9-10.
Killian's so dangerous on that serve, and he just misses his first strike, upset with himself, makes a fist in anger.
That's the second
10 serves 9.
really easy first strike opportunity that Killian has missed. And that's just hit with
Point.
so much pace. And, you know, if you think you can't hop the ball overhand, then just watch what Lennon can do overhand.
11-9.
Yeah.
He can hop it either way overhand.
Yeah, and if it hits a side wall, he knows exactly what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And Killian's now starting to dive all over the court again.
But that's just Killian's second dive, and he hasn't returned any of the balls. Last night, at
12
one
serves
point,
9.
he was averaging 4 dives per rally
There's him
for a
diving over that.
12-point stretch.
Yeah, you're right.
Now he's down again. I don't know if you call that a dive, Dave, but he's on the floor. That makes him 0 for 3. Just returning the ball with the dive.
13-9.
Good serve there from Sean.
But it's a good return.
But look at that. There's one that makes it back, and he loses the rally again. Now 14-9, first game. Well, looks like it's in reach for Sean Lennon here.
Well, Killian took himself out of position with that
14-9.
dive. This is kind of what I saw happening when Sean took a little rest at 10-5.
Well, Sean's stepping it up. You can
Oh
feel
my
it, and he
gosh.
just got it. Sean
First
takes
game.
game number 1. That's unbelievable. I would have never guessed that could have happened. You know, Kara spoke with Sean earlier and found out what his day of the final morning looks like. This is what Sean had to say.
I had some cornflakes at the diner, and they kept asking me if I wanted anything else, and I went for a long walk. Yeah.
Why did you choose this attire?
I'll probably change. I don't know. I'm running out of shirts. I didn't anticipate playing this many matches, quite frankly. So it's what I got left.
And that's Luis's, not the one that you took down yesterday, so a little better.
Yeah.
Taking on Killian, you've been in this spot many times before. Anything different for you?
No. I don't feel any pressure, although this would be a great one to win, but if I was a betting man, I'd say I might go down in the tiebreaker. I hope to push it that far. Then anything can happen, though, once you get there. So.
Yeah, and interesting to see a competitor say that. But Sean Lenning, you know, taking that first game, I think he's pretty much impressed everybody this weekend, to include himself. I mean, he keeps downplaying himself. Maybe this is a new tactic for Sean, saying, hey, I'm out of shape and I know it, and I shouldn't be making it this far. And therefore, you can see even in his play, he's trying to compact his game to make it so he doesn't have to hustle as much. But then when he did do exactly what you said he was going to do, he took that sort of break off between 5 to 8 points when Killian was at 5 to 10, and then Killian got up to 8. Sean took a little bit of break, then came back really strong, and that was just enough to just be that a tenth of a more energy than Killian was putting out.
Well, certainly Lenning has a lot to do with this, but Killian just doesn't seem to have the snap on his shots or the speed to kind of keep these rallies going. There's been some shots that I thought Killian would get. Now, this one no one could get. That was just an incredible skinny V.
Well, that's amazing, too. That ball hits that side wall on the right and goes almost all the way over to that left wall. You saw Killian do a weird revolving door to try to just flip that ball back, and it almost hit that side wall. It's crazy.
But if you go in the court with your right hand and try and hit that shot, you'll find it's almost impossible to get the right angle. If you completely mishit it, you'll hit the front wall, side wall before the short line.
Yeah.
But to actually clip the side wall at the 35 or 37 foot mark, it's almost impossible. I mean,
I find it hard just to hit the side wall on that shot, just because.
Well, with your right hand, yeah.
Yeah, because you're trying to make it ends up hitting the ground first.
Well, that ball straightens out
Uh-huh.
when it hits the, when you're hitting it down the same side, it straightens out. But
And Sean's actually going for that.
Right.
Which makes it even more outrageous to even think that is possible. But he takes game number 1, and I know the crowd's buzzing over this because I don't think people. I mean, I'm in awe right now that Killian did not win game number 1, but after watching Killian play, it seemed like it was a little obvious, perhaps.
Well, you heard Killian say last night that should have been the final. And he played it kind of like, well, this has been the last match of my life. You said that during the broadcast last night, and I think he's, like you said, having a hard time recovering. I mean, just even right now, walking around.
I think we can find
flat
out
and tired.
a little bit more what's on Killian's mind going into today, because he spoke with Kara Mack about his match with Sean Lenning. This is what Killian had to say a little earlier.
I mean, with Sean Lenning, it really depends on what kind of mood he's in. It doesn't really matter how he's playing, because yesterday he could be playing like garbage, as he said, but the next day he could just play unbelievable. So, I expect the very best from him today. I'm pretty sure he's pretty sore, but, I'm really banged up too, and I just got to watch out for unpredictable shots, make sure to move them out of the front of the court, which I don't do very successfully, but I'm going to try my hardest and hope for the very best.
What does a finals morning look like for you? Do you have a certain routine?
No, every other day it's the same thing. I prepare for the match every other way, because I just feel, if you want consistency, if you want results, you just treat everything the same.
But you for sure brought your flash shirt and you're good to go.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That'll be there.
As they're back into it here in game number 2, Sean Lenning winning the first one 15-9. Sean putting a little bit more power here.
I'm seeing more intensity here from Killian and Sean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot more power from Sean so far here.
I think the first point of the game was very important for both guys there. Killian showed that he's here to, I think, compete a little bit harder. And Sean's recognizing that too. And
side out.
That's a shot that Lenning likes, but he just skips it.
Short ball. Second. Point. One serves one.
We're all together at 1 here at game number 2. Going to 15, win by 2. Killian upset with himself on that short serve.
Second.
Boy, you just don't see those type of misses from Killian often.
Well, you do early in the game, in games, and
one serving one.
There was another one. It seemed like any momentum he was building was kind of eliminated with those 3 errors he made in the first game. 2 errors on the first strike shots and the double fault.
Side out.
Sean left that ball up.
1-1.
Terrible overhit from Killian. See what Sean does here. Breaks it down to the right. Killian gets it back.
Point.
Lenning did more running in that rally than he did in any rally in the first game.
2-1. Short ball.
Now you remember, Dave, these guys played an incredible match in Montana in the final. That one was won by Killian Carroll in a tiebreaker.
Had incredible energy, and that was just a snap kill shot. That's amazing from that camera angle, which we'll take a look at. It's going to even look better as we're at 1-2, and that was a short ball.
Second.
Here's a
Side
replay
out.
of that shot previously. Watch this camera angle here of what Sean is able to do with this ball.
2 serving 1.
Unbelievable. His hand's only just a few inches off the ground when he hits that. How does he get that back, Dave?
That's incredible. 2-wall pass.
These are amazing gets right here. That's going to clip a side wall, make it tougher for Sean. He gets it back. Killian goes in and re-kills it, and the crowd likes it.
Point.
That's the first time this crowd has really had a chance to show their appreciation.
Well, that was one heck of a rally. And you know, after you dive a couple times or if you make an incredible get, you don't want to lose those rallies, so you try harder.
3 serves 1.
You saw both players step it up there. 3-1 here, game number 2 for Killy. The ball looked like it had a little skid to it there after that serve.
4-1.
How does Sean get those balls back? They're aces to most people.
Point.
Killian hit a different kind of
Much lighter
serve there.
shot.
He bounced the ball much higher than he normally does.
Yeah.
5-1.
And he went for a deep crack on that. I mean, he's going with an Irish whip. That time he didn't hit it as deep as he wanted, but Sean gave him a look.
Side out.
But it's an error for Carroll. So you can see the difference, very obvious. That higher bounce, he's going to go
1-5.
for that deep 2-wall crack on the left wall.
I need more in the sampling of that, but I did notice it myself. So if that's what it is,
Side
then
out.
that's what it is. But I need to see him do it again.
But he's hitting it from the middle of the court, which makes it hard to get that deep angle. See if he tries
5-1.
it again with an Irish whip.
He's definitely going for the crack serve.
Well, he's also serving with an Irish whip now. Wonder
Side
if
out.
his maybe shoulder is sore.
Probably. Is there going to be a timeout here?
1-5.
And another
Point.
error from Killian. And he's really frustrated with himself. This is the most
2-5.
emotion we've seen from Killian in a single match.
Side out.
You know, earlier I was going to say that you really hear Sean breathing in there through our
5-2.
microphones that we have inside the court.
Short ball.
I mean, he's really feeling it.
Second. Short ball. Side out.
Double fault for Killian.
Killian led 4-0 when he double faulted last game.
2 serving 5.
Went on to lose 10 of the next 11 points.
Again. 2-5. Point.
Sean knows that Killian's going to barrel in there, so he hit the ball a little higher,
3-5.
jammed it into his feet.
Point.
I'm not sure what I'm seeing
4-5.
here.
That was a great serve. Just died.
Sean's really mixing it up here on a serve. Right
Second.
and then left and then back to the right again. Killian's staying pretty consistent. And that's a crack serve.
Point.
But that's what Sean does. Now we're
Flat
tied at 5.
rollout.
So just after that double fault,
5 serving
again,
5.
3 straight points now.
4.
Short.
Oop, that might be appealed. But it isn't.
Second. Side out. 5 serves 5. Side out.
Killian just cannot seem to get himself going.
He really
Every
can't.
time he's had a little run, he's followed it with a
5-5.
a rally-ending air.
Wow, that power, that little extra power
Point.
from Sean is just unbelievable when he decides to crank into it.
6-5.
Here's that power from Sean. Watch this ball, and he shoots it right down that wall.
Short. Second.
It's frustrating as a player, too. You hit that ball, and it hits the sidewall and comes back and hits you in the side of the face. You missed the shot, and now it hurts because your ear feels like it's bleeding.
Insult to injury.
5-6. Again.
And how does he squeeze in there? That's unbelievable. That's
I'm sorry, guys.
unbelievable.
Well, Sean pulls up here, which he's not supposed to do.
Well, he's really close to Killian on that
5-6.
pre-shot.
Okay.
Look at Killian works his way in there.
Point.
That's funny. Is that the one we send to Sports Center?
6-6.
The crowd was giving the referee a tough time, but the ref had to call that over.
Point.
What's going to happen here?
Timeout, Sean. 1 minute. We got 7-6.
Sean upset with himself there, but, you know, I guess this is what is supposed to happen here. These guys are playing really close, really tight. Killian's made more errors than Sean has, yet the score has Killian with one more point than Sean. Earlier today, Dave, we had Katrina Casey win her women's match, but we'll talk about that in a few seconds. Let's go over to Kara Mack, who's courtside, really quickly. Kara.
Courtside here with the function crew, watching this one, Killian from the back. What are you witnessing here with Lenning, and as far as Killian losing that first one, what he's coming back to do?
Yeah, Sean, he's serving well. Any chance he's getting to killing it, he's shooting it, and it's coming off from him. I'm not sure what Killian's going to have to do. He's playing well too. It's just Sean he's on fire at the minute, so I know maybe slow it down a few more timeouts, maybe see can he find his way back into the game.
Is the crew right here all for Killian?
Of course, yeah.
Of course. All right, I want to hear you in the back, all right? All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Linda.
Back to you guys.
Yep, thank you very much. Earlier today, Katrina Casey and Sienna Kareen played, and, you know, I know that you also had your match, but you also watched a little bit of that. It was a nice win for Katrina Casey, who seemed to make some amazing shots there. Here, though, it's the men's final. Game number 2 after Sean Lenning wins the first one 15-9.
Point.
Sean really cranked that ball, but it checked into the sidewall.
It's a tough shot to play
8-6.
offense on.
Unbelievable. Oh, I love that flick from Sean, but Killian gets it back. Sean runs up forward. The ball comes down off the front wall like it does. Sean, I'm so surprised, played that ball wrong.
Point.
That was a very hard one to take out of the air.
But if you
just barely clipped the front wall.
But if you put your hand
9 plays
where your
6.
fingers are toward the ground, the ball's going to fall into your hand as opposed to sideways the way Sean had it. Who am I to say?
Side out.
I was glad to see Sean run up there, though.
6-9.
In this whole tournament, Sean has pretty much gone for everything. If there's even the slightest opening, he's shooting the ball.
9 serve 6. Side out. Six, 9. I thought it was bad bounce too. 2 serves. Ceiling. I thought it was bad bounce off the ceiling.
Oh no. Didn't see
6
that.
serving 9. Side out.
If you just tuned in, it was Sean Lenning winning game number 1, 15-9. Killian's now up 9-6 in game number 2, trying to force a tiebreaker. And before this even started, Sean Lenning somewhat predicted that it would go to a tiebreaker. I say somewhat because he was talking to Carroll about his morning ritual. And he felt that tiebreaker would be a good place with the way that he currently felt.
Side out. 9-6. Point. Ten 6. Point. You got a full and a 30. You got a full timeout and a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds. Score is 11-6.
Sean Lenning taking a 30-second timeout, game number 2. WPH race 4-8 San Francisco. We're at the Olympic Club, where it's been one heck of a great weekend of handball here in the Bay Area. Weather's been really great. It all started off with that Alcatraz trip that we had, I believe on Thursday. It felt like it was earlier than that. That was fun. Then it meandered its way into the club, where we've had some great action. And Dave, you're a part of this. Playing out on the yard. Marco said he's going to say that this is one of his greatest all-time memories of handball, is this moment, because he said he would have never done this for any other reason.
I knew it when it was happening that it was going to be one of my all-time great memories playing.
There's Pete Papadimitriou, who lives here in the East Bay. He looks like he could have been on Cell Block C in the old days.
Time's back in. 11, serving 6.
Good times. 11-6. Game number 2.
Short.
With these guys, 5-point leads don't mean anything.
Second.
Wow, great crack serve there from Killian. 12-6.
12-6. Point. Thirteen 6. Side out. 6-13. Side out.
A lot of side outs here, Dave.
13-6. Point. Timeout. Sean, that's your last timeout. Score is 14-6. 1 minute.
Killian looks like he's found his stroke now. Really starting to hit the ball crisply.
There's a 60-second timeout. You know, Killian was with Kara earlier, and he shares what was on his mind when talking about Sean Lenning. And I know that we've covered it before, but I want you to listen to what Killian has to say here during this timeout and what he said earlier with Kara.
I mean, you know, with Sean Lenning, it really depends on what kind of mood he's in. You know, it doesn't really matter how he's playing, because yesterday he could be playing like garbage, as he said, but the next day he could just play unbelievable. So, you know, I expect the very best from him today. I'm pretty sure he's pretty sore, but, you know, I'm really banged up too. And, you know, I just got to watch out for unpredictable shots, make sure to move them out of the front of the court, which I don't do very successfully, but, you know, I'm going to try my hardest and hope for the very best.
What does a finals morning look like for you? Do you have a certain routine?
No, every other day it's the same thing. You know, I prepare for the match every other way, you know, because I just feel, you know, if you want consistency, if you want results, you know, you just treat everything the same.
But you for sure brought your flash shirt and you're good to go.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That'll be there.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Dave. With Killian saying that he treats the finals day the same as any other day, is that something that you do as well? You know, even when you're not training, you say, this is my regimen, this is what I have to do, and then when you do it on a finals day, it's not a novelty thing, it's just something you do, right?
Right.
I really wanted others to hear that, because I think people overcomplicate it. They get in there and say, I'm going to go eat scrambled eggs, and I'm going to get this protein in, and they end up ruining the full effect of what they've been doing as they train for these important moments. Killian just does what he normally does. But he also brought up about Sean Lenning, saying that, you know, Sean talking about playing like garbage, but Killian knows that Sean can flip a switch at any moment. It's all up to Sean's mood. And there it is. That game number 2 goes to Killian as Sean went off to the left. Killian serves to the right. And now we're going to go to a breaker.
That was a beautiful head fake there from Killian, who had us all fooled.
Yeah, Sean just played it off as if, yeah, I thought you were going to serve it over here, but no big deal. There's going to be about 4 minutes to think about this now, obviously. These guys are putting it all together. You know, we were able, and you actually, which I felt did a pretty good job at this, were able to hang around Emmett Peixote and walk around the Olympic Club yesterday to talk about this historic facility, and we dug up some things. It was a lot of fun. Here's what you found out yesterday here at the Olympic Club.
I'm David Fink, alongside my good buddy and Olympian of the Year in 2015 and 13-time Olympic Club singles champion and race for 8, number 7, Emmett Peixote. Emmett, you're going to take us on a tour today of the Hall of Fame.
Sure. This is beautiful here. Yeah, so this is the Hall of Fame. And somewhere, I think over here, there's a cup with my name on it for Olympian of the Year, but it might be at the golf course, so we'll take a look. See, here's Player of the Year. It stops at 10, so I don't know where the other one is.
That's rugby, though.
I haven't seen it in a while.
2017, right?
2015.
Oh, really? Do you remember watching matches on the old Olympic Club courts where they had the stadium seating in the wood?
I beat Norm Dunn was one of my first big wins, probably my first big win, because he was number 6 on the Pro Tour at the time, and I was 19, and I beat him in on the show court where there was a gallery above, and they were old wooden courts. They were probably about 100 years old, or a little bit less, probably 80 years old, and beat him on the center court there, and I was pretty happy. It was a huge win for me. This is just the Hall of Fame.
Bob Brady, handball.
Yeah, there's a few handball players.
Did you know him?
I never met him because he died in the 70s. That's Mike Dunn, yeah. Mike Dunn's still alive.
That's the dad of the brothers?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And Joe Red Murray is his grandson plays.
So what has it meant for you to have been sponsored by the Olympic Club? I'd say for 20 years.
It's been wonderful. They've been really good to me. They used to pay my way to go to play in all these tournaments. They're the reason I was able to play in pro stops all over the place. They always paid my trips, so it's been huge. I mean, that's a big thing. They've done that since I was 15, and they're still doing it. And yeah, I wouldn't have been able to go to all the tournaments that I have.
Well, you have to be proud to carry on the tradition of some of the gentlemen that you mentioned, like Al Banuay and Mike Tracy, and some of these coaches that mentor other
It's the best. Being part of the history is the most important thing to me. The membership's great, and the sponsorship's great, but just being part of the history is the most important. I mean, there's a lot of these guys that played with Bob Brady, and Bob Brady he's the guy I'm trying to beat for Olympic Club championships. He has 18.
I've really enjoyed this tour, and I'm looking forward to seeing your name all over, but I think you might have to retire first, and that's not going to be for what, about 50 years?
At least 50, yeah. 55.
I was thinking about 50, yeah.
On the tour.
Right.
Yeah, with you.
Obviously.
That was a good walkthrough of the facility here in San Francisco yesterday with Emmett Peixote and David Fink. Game number 1 went to Sean Lenning, 15-9. Turned around, though, in game number 2 as Killian Carroll has now forced a tiebreaker after a 15-6 win. Killian is our current number 1 ranked pro. Sean Lenning is ranked number 2. And it's no surprise to see these guys in the final against each other. It seems like fireworks happen and a lot of entertainment between the two when we have seen it, though Killian owns the lifetime record, as he does with pretty much everybody. But Sean Lenning has found a way to kind of dive into that armor of Killian, and Killian knows it. So he has to get up for these matches. It's been an interesting one so far. Let's see if Sean comes out with a little bit more verve here. A lot of his fans are giving him words of encouragement as he walks onto the court, but is that enough to fuel Sean Lenning, who is looking to take another race stop? Killian Carroll will be serving first. He scored more points than Sean Lenning combined for game number 1 and number 2. Now we're getting ready for number 3 as our referee is about ready to get this one underway. I want to thank Linda Manning, Chris Garrad, Kara Mack, Shay Lowenstein, Dave Fink. Want to thank you. Also want to thank Ashley Moeller, Shorty Ruiz, Lolita DeVincent, Emmett Pachot, Marco Chavez, and Ashleen Riley for helping out with the live broadcast. Plus Joey Mucha and Lou Barberini for running the tournament.
Play 0.
Plus all the sponsors that help pull this one together. We're tied at 0 here, going to 15. The winner will be the champion, and the first point goes to Killian Carroll. First point in game number 2 went to Sean Lenning, and Sean lost. Not that it means anything.
1-0.
Unbelievable. Oh, and Sean just about thought about diving for that one as well. Sean on the floor 3 times during that rally, and the crowd puts their hands together.
2-0.
Sean was handcuffed 3 straight shots, but then dove for 3 straight.
Point.
Killian, much like he did yesterday in the tiebreaker against Lucho, just seems to have the system and the conditioning. Remember, he won that tiebreaker last night, 15-1.
3-0.
Yeah. Huge overhit from Sean. Nothing he can do there as Killian just pounds it down the right, and Sean lets out a loud yell there, heard throughout the facility.
4-0.
You can see the spectators here just crammed in to see this match. Sean now 5-0, and he's going to call timeout.
And this has happened quickly
Timeout.
here, Dave.
Oh, really
Sean
quick.
has not served yet in this tiebreaker.
We got 5-0.
Chris just showed me 75, that which means 75 seconds, 5 points. You know, we're talking about Sean scoring a lot of points quick, but Chris putting down 75 seconds, that's pretty good. 5-0 here in the tiebreaker. We're going to 15. You have to win by 2. I'm not quite sure we're going to have to worry about that win by 2, however. But, again, this has been one of those tournaments where, you know, you're down 14-1. Player comes back and wins. Huge comebacks. Right when you think you're going to write off somebody, they make a comeback, and you certainly can never write off Sean Lenning. This kind of reminds you a little bit of Las Vegas, where Sean came back and ended up winning, but the only thing missing is that comeback.
Okay, plays back in. 5-0.
It's hard to come back when you can't get in the server's box. Killian goes for a crack on that first serve, just barely misses it, and then he hits a laser kill shot, and Sean throws his hands in the air.
6-0. Short ball. Second. Side out.
It's the first error that we've seen Killian make here in the tiebreaker.
Well, that had a huge hop on it.
0-6.
Huge mountain for Sean Lenning to climb here. Back to the methodical serve. Can you believe that, Dave?
Killian's in full clamp down mode, or whatever you would call this, Dave, where Killian just decides, I'm just going to get to every single ball.
And that was the easiest one of all of them.
Right.
I mean, even though it was still hard. 1-6. See, it's kind of slow swing Sean right now, and that one has gotten points for him, so perhaps this methodical thing will work. Unbelievable, Killian. That's what you have to do. Hit the most elite San Antonio spoiler that has ever been hit in the history of handball. Front to right, just clipping the front wall.
2-6.
Another one.
Point.
Seems when Sean slows it down.
You'd think if you slow it down against Killian, be in
right.
even worse trouble, but Lenning's having some success
3-6.
with the off-speed stuff.
Now this second serve from Lenning.
Second.
Historically has been pretty darn good. Oh, I don't know how he misses that. Killian shaking his head. He doesn't understand it either. Sean could be serving at 4-6 here. He just barely misses that corner kill. 6-3 here.
Point.
And that's right where Killian wants it.
7-3. Point.
Unbelievable serve. No timeout from Sean. Thought he'd call it.
Eight, 3. Short ball.
After one of these long tournaments,
Second.
after you've played multiple rounds, and by the way, congratulations on 5th place.
Thank you.
You're the oldest guy in the history of
Point.
Race for 8 to ever take 5th.
That's true.
Add that to your fun facts.
Thanks.
Although it probably wasn't fun doing
9-3.
it. But you get done with one of these tournaments, you're also the lead reporter as well. And you have so many other roles. As Sean dives in.
Wow.
That's a diving San Antonio spoiler. And Killian puts his hands together. But you just feel totally exhausted after a weekend like this?
Yeah.
3, play 9.
I fell asleep during my question.
Point.
That's how tired I am. Sean walking back really slowly here.
4-9.
You know, normally
Point.
you'd say
Check the ball.
both of these guys are going to feel it tomorrow. But they're feeling it right now. Both are walking back slowly. Sean, you know, with this little methodical serve, it's so effective.
Right.
Especially when he hits that reverse down that left.
5, play 9.
There's that reverse. See what he does here in his second serve.
Second.
Oh.
Point.
Killian.
6-9.
Killian's very frustrated here.
Look where Killian
out.
puts that return of serve. Drops it in the left corner. Sean hits a pretty good ceiling shot that comes off the back wall, and just a bottom board laser from Carroll.
Right back down the same wall, which is so hard to do. If you shank it just a little bit, you're cutting into a wall, which is going to cut the speed. Sean's going to probably cut it off and do something with it.
Point.
Sean had a very good look at that
He
return
did.
and left Killian with a very easy first strike kill.
10-6.
Goes for the crack, hits it, doesn't get the point.
Side out.
That was a hard dive that
You
was very unsuccessful.
We can feel it from back here where we're at on the floorboards. You know Killian's going to feel that one.
10.
6-10 here in game 3, going to 15, win by 2, and Sean had him. Had Killian leaning. Frustrated with himself because he felt Killian diving to the left there. That one's another ball that Sean leaves up, and Killian this time doesn't miss like he did previously. Talking about how great Sean's second serve is, it has not really been that effective.
10-6.
With the exception of that one crack out ace. You're right. That's effective, a 2-foot power hop.
That thing was a huge hop return from
6-10.
Sean. I think he's going to find out with this methodical play, you're going to be able to break off huge reverse and natural hooks during the rally because your hands are still spinning at the same speed, but your arm is going slower.
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
There was follow-through contact that hit Killian on that. Sean went with that punch, and he punched Killian in the back. What's Sean going to do here? He has to be overthinking this shot here because he's been hitting it too high, and he goes and does exactly what I thought, overthinking it. He's missed 3 in a row on that second serve, and I thought maybe he might just lob it in and just do something different to break the monotony, but instead he hits it in the ground.
10-6.
Double faulting at 6-10. This is usually where Killian goes in and gives you the dagger with a crack serve. Let's see if he goes for his own crack serve here. Yeah, he kind of gave away that serve. Sean tried to hit it twice.
Point.
Killian gets the point. Did you see Killian telegraph that? He looked over. Yeah, he looked over to see where Sean was at, and then he just sort of lined up. Said, "I'm going to try to sneak one down the right here."
On a second serve, that only crossed the line by a couple inches.
Point.
Remember, in Montana, the tiebreaker was 15-6 in favor of Carroll.
30 seconds. Score is 12-6.
Now in Montana, what was the score?
15-6 in the third game.
Right. I know the crowd came out to see some of the fireworks from yesterday, but both of these guys are completely exhausted. Killian diving all over the court yesterday. Sean Lenning with huge comebacks and big play, and that it was all during a time when he was completely exhausted even before the match started. And so was his opponent. And that sort of carried over into today, and both of these players look like they've been through a ringer.
All right, time is back in.
And yet it's still great play.
12-6.
You see Killian anticipates that hop. He waits for it. And it turns into a setup. And the ball hopped in front of you. You have a chance to wait it out and still hit a good shot. It's the ones that hop, you know, at your feet or just a couple inches in front that are problems. But now, Killian Carroll showing off his left.
Timeout. 14-6, 1 minute.
2 straight kills with the left hand for Killian Carroll. And he's 1 point away from his second race for a title of the season. That would tie him with Lucho and Danos Cordova, who also both have 2. Lenning is the only other player to have won one this season. He's got 1.
But Lenning's been in the finals how many times? 3 times?
3 times.
3 times in the final.
Yeah. Well,
Sean's exhausted here. We're in the tiebreaker. We're at 14. Killian 1 point away from getting all of those records that you mentioned.
Killian's 4th final of the season. Missed out on the final in Atlanta, but otherwise he's been in every final. So he's got a streak going.
He's in every final, but this would only be his 2nd win.
2 out of 4 if he gets the next point.
Well, Killian's looking to do it again, and that is win another one of these big prize checks. Get all the ranking points. His ultimate goal is to win that Players' Championship, but then also take down another national championship coming up in June. This is match point, by the way. Back wall set up. Killian goes for it. Sean down to one knee. And Killian is going to have to put that victory march on hold as Sean Lenning gets back into the service box here.
6-14.
It's a good serve from Sean.
Thank you.
Killian calls 2 bounces, point for Sean, 7-14. That little serve that Sean has down that left wall, a reverse that doesn't come off the side wall, seems to be pretty effective. And I think it's something that he's somewhat just now discovered. I've never seen it before. Maybe I'm the one that's discovering it. Oof.
Thought that was a great shot from Carroll, and
that was nasty.
Lenning hits, I think, his best shot of this match to score the 8th point.
8-14.
There's that serve. Killian adjusts to it, though.
And that dips in.
Now 9-14.
9-14.
Just over the line.
Was it, though?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we'll see an appeal.
Side up. Appeal serve. Called it good. Both agreed.
I think Sean would not be marching back. It looked like it was
14-9.
This is match point. This could be it right here. And it is. Killian Carroll does it one more time. He takes this championship, first time championship in San Francisco. Killian Carroll defeating Sean Lenning in a tiebreaker, 15-9. Both of these players exhausted, crowd putting their hands together as Kara Mack gets onto the court to interview our champion. Kara.
Letting Killian get a little bit of a breath here. He's like up against the wall. That one took a lot out of you.
Definitely, yeah. I was really tired going into it, and Sean was wrecked too, and I just tried to get into the groove, and it took me a while, and I was lucky enough that Sean didn't get hot towards the end of the match. It looked like he was going to make a comeback, and I just was able to finish it.
You mentioned before the match you never know what Sean you're going to get. When you walked in here that first game, what Sean did you see that you were getting, and how did you adjust to that?
Sean definitely played, I suppose, as well as he could in the first game, considering how tired he was. I expected a lot more out of myself in the first game, and I expected more out of Sean, but, it's just been a very rough weekend for the both of us, tough battles.
This is a repeat of Montana when you took it again. That was your first final win. This is your second one of the season. How does it feel to take the 2?
Tremendous. I think, I matched Luis Moreno's record for 11 titles, so it just feels great, and hopefully someday I'll be able to get to Paul's 14.
All right, so you have those numbers in mind. You know which one you're going for next.
I do. Thank you.
I need to hand this over to you. The beautiful trophy goes along with your collection now in Boston.
Yes, brilliant. Thanks very much, Karen.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, he knows the numbers. There he is. Such a nice guy. Onto the court here, the crowd putting their hands back together again for our champion, Killian Carroll, who will, unwind just a little bit and then go back and address those in the stands, as he always does. It's sort of his routine. He takes care of himself, puts his stuff down, then he goes out and shakes everybody's hands and thanks them for coming, and does that with all the sponsors as well. He's such a nice individual, great champion, one that you are glad that you have on the Pro Tour as somebody that the kids can look up to, and he's thanking the referee, Killian Carroll, winning again a race stop here on the WPH Professional Handball Tour. We're going to take it and say goodbye. When I say it, I'm talking about all of our equipment. We're going to pack it up, and we are going to load it up, and then we're going to say goodbye. Like Killian, we're going to take care of our business and then go thank all of the sponsors. We want to thank you for tuning in to this broadcast on ESPN3, the Watch ESPN app. Do appreciate you tuning in and making this possible. Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Shay Lowenstein, Kara Mack, Dave Fink. There's been a lot of people behind the scenes like Lou Barberini and Joey Mucha, plus sponsors here at the Olympic Club, their staff and volunteers that have pulled this one all together. It's been a great weekend of handball in the Bay Area. We'll be back with more handball action from Salt Lake City in the next month and a half or so. Make sure to go on to r2sports.com to find out the schedule. Visit us at wphlive.tv. We're going to say goodbye for now, though. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for tuning in to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN3.